going to look like a raccoon, and that would be bad. Hi,
Hello,
welcome.
folks.
All right, I got to do it now, though. I just tell them what happened.
She put makeup on her eye, and now her eye is having a spasm of some sort.
It's dry because I'm high as fuck.
Just go jump in the pool. Keep your eyes open. Pool water is always good for the eye.
Oh yeah, I'm sure my contact lenses love it. Well, it looked good for a second there. Welcome to Marital Hate.
Welcome to Marital Hate. I am Doug. This is Stacy.
We're married.
We don't hate each other
Usually.
sometimes, but we often bicker. I would like to tell everyone to have a happy summer solstice today. I hope everyone enjoyed the
good. It's our
high angle of the sun.
We're pagans. Today. That's why we can't have right. Un-pagan like things put into our bodies, like awful chemicals.
Well, as you know, we often have the sunset behind us. Tonight we're dealing with some weather again tonight.
You got the Wink Hurricane guide, so we're.
I did. So I can go look at that.
We have a battery-powered fan.
Yep.
That book and a case of Clearly Canadian. We are good for whatever comes our way. And don't forget, we still have extension cords that we can tie. That's a good reference.
Right, so
do you get that reference?
Nobody
by the
gets
way,
that
people.
reference.
Somebody's here.
Todd's
here.
Hello,
What's
Todd.
up,
Todd? Anyways, we have some weather coming in. We're going to try and get it.
If a tree falls, we can use an extension
cord.
Right,
we can use an extension cord
to pull it out
which
of the
I knew
road.
was not going to work, but you were so adamant about doing it. So anyways, we got some little weather coming in. We're hoping we can get this in without issue tonight. But you'll notice that behind us is usually the sunset. Now, today, the sunset way over there, like way over there. And in the wintertime, it sets over there. So there's a big switch from summer solstice to winter solstice.
Fit over here. Fit.
Maybe I should do it solo tonight. Maybe your eye is just too dry to do a podcast tonight.
No, now it's like it feels like there's something in my eye, which I know there is. It's called a contact.
It's called
lens,
an eyeball. And Ann is here today. Oh, we received something today.
Yes, we're going to be a big segment about that.
It'll be a segment tonight, Ann. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I hope you're feeling better. And continue to be on the mend. That is not a good look
for me. I'm so sorry.
Well, what are you going to do? What we would like to kind of kick this off with is I made the most scrumptious dinner tonight and introduced Stacy into a new food from the Irene Gear Kitchen of Food Goodness, who would be my mom.
Look at me. I look like a drunk hoe.
That's all right. You're just you can pull it off, honey. All right. So anyways, so we had a broccoli with garlic lemon butter baked in the oven, and then we also had a steak which I seasoned with a certain season of seasonings, which came out really good. And then for the pièce de résistance, what do you have with steak? A baked potato steak? No, I say we had cottage cheese, and I put some of our fresh chives in it from our little herb garden.
And we learned today that chives lower your blood pressure.
Yeah, so everybody wins. Anyways, that cottage cheese was unbelievable. So that meal was fantastic. She said it might have been one of the best meals I've ever served her. And that's saying something, because I've done my chicken pot pie was amazing. We did. Are you all right over there?
No, I'm not all right. Did you see me having a mental fit over here?
Just having a mental fit.
Did you pull Ann on screen when she
said hello? I did. What do you need from me? Do you need like a bucket of water, or what do you need? This is
on my nightstand in the living room.
Yeah, she has a nightstand in the living room. Everybody.
There's a little plastic cup and the eye rinse. Can you bring me those?
Well, we're gonna rinse our eye on the podcast.
Yeah,
you're gonna take over because I gotta go.
Okay. Well, I have something in my eye, or my eye is irritated. I had just put my makeup on freshly, and in the middle of it, my eye started bothering me. And so I was like, okay, no big deal. I just have dry eyes because I'm high. And it got worse. But now I think it's okay, which means I sent Doug in there for nothing. And he's an amazing caretaker, sometimes better than others. But just the fact that he has to do about 10 things a day for me like this, and on a day like today when I feel like shit, it's more than usual. Ann said, you had me until cottage cheese. I know. My whole life, I was like, oh my God, that is so gross. And I think part of it was the texture, but it was always hearing people say, ew, cottage cheese, that's so gross, the texture's so gross, blah, blah, blah. Girl, you are missing out. I have missed out 46 and 3/4 years on this planet without fucking cottage cheese. It's the biggest mistake of my life. And I have been married to idiots.
And it took
not usually this one.
And it took me to bring this forth after 10 years of marriage.
I'm cold now. I might need.
Oh, you're cold. It's
cold.
breezy out here. Let's
Maybe I can
quick
put
check
a towel on.
check on the Cape Coral
Is the towel
temperature
behind
here.
you dry? Does it have any aids on it?
I think it's dry. Yeah. Let's wrap you up like a little.
Ian says throw up.
Like a little bunny.
I don't think we're doing that on the podcast anymore.
It's 84.
Although there have been many requests for me to puke live on television, Doug does not have the stomach to videotape it.
No.
So two times I puked immediately after the podcast.
Following.
The first time it hit the floor, well, first a bowl and then the floor, and then the second time it just went in the bowl.
We let the vomit hit the floor.
Doug knew not to pull the bowl away. What did Jen say?
Tried it. Was grateful for a tall faucet. Macy sees Doug and says hi.
Hi,
yeah,
Macy.
Macy.
Oh my God.
I will say this.
Just doesn't stop.
We got some rain. We got some rain happening. And hopefully that looks like something because
well, yeah, you guys are gonna have to let us know if you can't hear us because
here come the rain.
It rained.
We're like the Eurythmics up in here.
Yes, here comes the rain again. Falling on my head like a new emotion. Like a tragedy, whatever.
Some sort of thing.
Anyway, and I do want to know about how you're feeling. Tracy, I don't think that we're going to get particularly out of line tonight. So, let Macy look at her boyfriend all she wants. Before I get to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which we've been reading.
What?
Anne, I think it was Anne.
I would believe it was Anne.
Let me tell you, we got this book. And it's the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies in the mail. And it says, Stacy, read this book, offer remedies to heal your body. Doug, this book will be valuable for you too. And then it says love.
This says love.
It says
it's
love.
From love.
Does it say it's from Anne?
It was sent from love.
You know why she did that? So he couldn't sell it for millions and millions of dollars when she gets famous. So she just did not put her name. We had to guess who would have sent us this book. Oh, wait,
Right.
Anne told me she was sending it.
Oh, okay. All right.
She had gotten it for herself.
But thank you for that. She's been enthralled and she's been reading it ever since it got in the door.
Kind enough to send it to me. Oh my God. This is the best book ever. I had no idea about some of the things in here. Like lavender for high blood pressure. And all these chives for high blood pressure.
Chives. Some chives.
All this different stuff for the lymphatic system. We really need to get back to doing our Emily tea.
Well, I will tell you this, that if we were able to make deviled eggs, part of Southwest Florida, Gulf Coast Florida, we can make cottage cheese cool again. We're gonna make hats that say "Make cottage cheese great again." And then Todd's like, tonight it might be Rich Dad, Wet Dad.
That's true.
Yeah, because it's coming down pretty good. I don't know if you guys can really see what's happening there.
I will tell you that I only have one more chapter to go in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it's making me happy. It's making me really
it's making you happy. Okay.
Because it's going to be like the third book I've read this year already.
Wow, look at you.
And like, how many books did I read last year? Like one or two?
And some people thought you couldn't read, so that was that.
I can't. I have a really hard time paying attention that long.
I thought that book would be great. I couldn't have sent it to any more deserving than you and Doug.
Yay,
look at you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, she's been.
I can't believe how terrible I look. I will be referencing this on like a daily basis for the foreseeable future.
Well,
don't bother buying a copy because I'll be reading it to you every night.
Well, we're lit up by this, like one of those like fluorescent outdoor like LED bulbs, which is not great. And it's raining. I don't know if you can hear the rain.
I don't know where that comment just came from, but okay. Is this live on your page?
I have to go public on my page. Excuse me while I go public on my page.
Believe it or more people see your page than see my page because I've got like a super go fuck yourself filter from Facebook. They love me.
I'm casual. Edit
Todd
privacy.
Says,
public. Bring it on, people.
Definitely need to find a copy of Van's book. I don't know who Van is, but yes, find it. So anyway, I don't know. This is fantastic.
Oh, maybe does you mean Anne's book? Like the book that Anne sent?
Maybe.
Or Van Wilder. Van Wilder has written the book about.
That's actually Bert Kreischer's life story. Oh. Allegedly.
Yes, it is. So anyways, this is what everybody's tuning in tonight, I think, because they don't know what's going on with this weather. We're in the middle of
you can use false unicorn.
False unicorn is a
it's a good tonic for the woman's reproductive system. It regulates female reproductive system and balances hormones. Encouraging normal function in regular menstrual cycle. It is used to treat missed menstrual periods and to relieve symptoms of menopause. It improves fertility and low sex drive in women. Do not use during pregnancy. False unicorn for men. Hormonal balance extend to men also, and many men report it is useful in improving symptoms of erectile dysfunction. Oh, woo! For impotence,
Turns you into a unicorn, fellas.
impotence, nocturnal emissions, and erectile dysfunction, the standard dose is 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of dried powdered root 3 times daily.
It'll give you a nocturnal situation.
I'm going with you drink a cup 3 times a day, and we see what happens.
And film it.
You can also use it for sore throats and chronic inflammation and pelvic inflammation and vaginal infections.
Yikes. I will say I start to get a little skeptical when they have like this laundry list of stuff that these herbs like can.
Well, think about it this way: how many things can you use baking soda for?
Couple. Bacon.
How many things can you use
making soda?
He should have said Anne's book. See,
yeah.
Doug was translating. I'm too high to translate.
I am of the people, Todd.
Can you guys even hear us?
What?
It's very loud here.
Look at
I look like
palm trees are like swaying.
What do I look like? I look like a crackhead.
You look like you just came from a water park. Now you're rubbing off your makeup.
Okay. Right. If you ever come to our house, there's probably a trail of nose rings everywhere because I'm always rubbing my face and dropping them on the ground.
It's unprofessional.
I'm giving everyone in my house COVID.
How are you giving people COVID with a nose ring on the ground?
I don't know. What could happen? All right. So you were saying.
I forgot what I was saying, but yes, we've had quite a few little storms pass through here today, and last night, as you guys could see on the podcast last night with the light show that we had.
Well, what we really should be telling you about is what happened today. What happened today was Stacy started off her morning great. She got to hang out with her neighbor friend. She did her meditation. She got to talk to her friend Zach. Talked to the owls on the way back. Listened to some cool music on the way home. I don't remember what it was particularly.
Didn't bring me back a glazed donut.
I didn't stop anywhere because it looked like hell. Tried to do all the things to feel good, and then all of a sudden I just hit the fucking wall, and I was in agonizing pain, and nothing helped. So I had Doug give me some cannabis oil. We made out a little bit in the pool. He gave me some cannabis oil, and then I was on drugs, and I just had my tank top on, and it's see-through, and I don't have bottoms on. Doug goes inside to do work, and I'm just like, I'm in so much pain. I will do anything to get better. Maybe if I sit in the sun, that'll help because nothing else I have tried has worked. And I'm minding my own business, scrolling TikTok and drinking, and the landscapers show up. That's me on the flamingo, and that's the lawn guy over
just outside the screen. Left. There you go.
Yeah, and
scantily clad, Stacy.
The one guy came out this way, and I was definitely like tits out, some sort of nonsense going on.
Nonsense.
And he comes by, and then on the way back, he's like this, like looking at me, and almost crashed into the neighbor's house. It was hilarious. And I'm like, called Doug. I'm like, can you come here? And I'm like, how much can you see? What can I do to cover myself? Because I could not get out of the pool. I was held hostage.
And I couldn't hear her because there was a guy here, a guy over there, and then the guy
right in the can they see my pussy?
What?
Can they see my butthole?
Actually, it was more like this.
Can you see? What about? Didn't I go like this too?
Yeah, no, you didn't do that.
Oh, and then
you had your drink.
And then afterward, I went inside to do the most hippie thing ever.
Oh, so she sat on.
By the way, I want them to stay. Like, if it means that I have to have 5 margaritas to get them to get the weeding done and trim back all the freaking, like, not prune the bushes, not like decimate them like they usually do, but actually fix the other plants that are growing through them and put some goddamn mulch out. But go ahead. So if you're not familiar with 5 margaritas, I would peg them after the 5th margarita. But I just want the mulch. We've gone mulch in. Okay.
We've gone mulch in. Although we got we got a crazy estimate to put the mulch in.
They wanted $600 to weed and mulch. I'm like, I know. No. I know.
It's no good. Anne seems to enjoy. She says she's feeling better because she's laughing her ass off at my faces.
Oh, good.
What do you want from me?
She thinks you're funny looking. Okay, so then I went in the house.
How's this face?
Then I went in the house and did the most hippie thing ever while Doug cooked dinner.
And then she explained it to me. I can't even begin. It was.
I was sitting
reading a book on herbs.
Well, I was sitting in my high off my ass with my dreadlocks in the living room.
Yeah.
While putting essential oils on and reading
A
about,
book about
herbs.
While sitting on a biomat made of
Amethyst.
crystals, and you're probably there must
I
have
was
been
high
one
and
other
I was
thing.
drinking some sort of hippie beverage.
Yeah, hippie beverage. It was.
I was drinking my my lemonade. It's like cayenne pepper lemonade with maple syrup. It's really good. So we had those things today. But did we have another meal today? Was those sous vide things from fucking Costco?
Sous vide egg bites.
Oh my god, from Costco.
Organic.
They're like the organic sous vide egg bites from Costco. They're in the refrigerator section, like near the hummus and stuff. Oh my god.
She loves them.
Get them.
She loves them.
Like they're so like light and fluffy and like
it's essentially egg with
it's like the
red and green peppers.
It's like if a quiche was like flan.
Yes, that's a good.
It's
that's
like a quiche, a flan quiche. It's
it's
so
a flan
fucking
situation.
good. You can't understand it until you bite into it. They're so good. Please don't buy them all. We need them because that makes a good breakfast. We've been doing daily harvest for breakfast.
Oh, the daily harvest came today.
Yeah,
I could take that.
Go ahead, do it. Do you guys want to see fun experiment? I was going to use it to give myself an ice bath, but I didn't feel up to doing an ice bath today. And Doug and Christina did not think it was safe for me to do this. So I am a little bit of a daredevil. Maybe I'll jump in the pool with it. See what Doug does. So Daily Harvest comes. And if you guys want a discount code, let me know. I have one. It's like, I don't know, like $50 off or something. It's a really good discount. And so you just add your own milk, although they do sell milk. And you put it in the blender. And they also have like other things, but we always get the smoothie. So they have soup and flatbreads and energy bites. And Doug just threw, you're going to have to angle the camera. Doug just threw the dry ice that it came with into the pool. So if you look, it's all fuzzy and bubbly.
Look at that.
Like a witch's cauldron up in that bitch.
And there's 3 more packs in here.
Ooh. See, we have to remember that around Halloween, and we can like have the neighborhood kids could be like, "Oh no!" This is very exciting.
Well, the other thing is that the pool's near 90 degrees, so this might cool it down.
Well, the rain usually cools it down.
Look at that.
Can you buy you could buy like a nitrox machine. Look at
it's like we turned it into a
dude, we're like basically overgrown children up in this bitch.
Yeah,
like that's what happens. Is we're children. So okay, so we got our daily harvest. So daily harvest is one thing we eat for breakfast, and we will put in a scoop of protein. I really like the J Rob egg white protein that Susie Falco, amazing nutritionist in on the South Shore in Massachusetts. She's absolutely amazing. She's also friends with my little Christina friend. So anyway, she recommended that. So what we do is what was I talking about?
Sous vide egg bites.
Oh, the J Rob egg protein. So we do the egg protein, a scoop of fermented greens, a scoop of fermented fruit, or depending on the flavor, we might go one or the other. I put seeds in mine. Doug does not like the seeds.
I don't like the seeds, but I do like the beet powder. It's supposed to be very, very good for all kinds of stuff. So
we've been doing that. And so Doug also will do coffee.
I'll do coffee and oat milk, and then I'll put those 3 scoops in there, the protein and the greens and the beets.
And he just blends it up in ice too.
And you got to throw some ice in there. Otherwise, it's like
a little frappuccino. Coffee. And he uses decaf coffee.
I use decaf cold brew from I think it's called Busy or something. Buzzy. I don't know.
Here's my question: can I do a coffee enema with cold brew?
Yeah, why couldn't you?
I don't know. I need to know if anybody knows if I can do a coffee enema with cold brew.
You need.
I really don't like the smell of coffee. I had a childhood trauma with it. So I want to do them because it's so good for your liver, and energy, which is a big problem for me. But I'm just nervous. So if anybody could tell us, that would be great. Tracy would know. Well, she wouldn't know. She would Google it.
Yeah. She would figure it out.
So anyway, and everything you read is going to say no.
Looks like I'm on fire.
Like they're like, this is what you're supposed to do. It doesn't say, yes, you are on fire.
But I did get wet when I was out there throwing that stuff.
All right, let me tell my story. So cold brew. I don't know if you can put it up your butt or not. So if anybody knows, but I think all the articles are going to say you have to make it yourself, organic, blah, blah, blah. And I think you can get away with organic other coffee. But what do I know? I spent an hour looking it up the other day and I couldn't find anything about cold brew, like nothing about cold brew at all. So who the fuck knows? So the sous vide
How to
organic.
carry out a coffee enema? Like that's a weird wording right there.
Well, you carry it out the door when you're done. So we've been doing the sous vide egg bites from Costco occasionally. We do deviled eggs a lot. We usually try to do fruit with breakfast. We have been known to put spinach into things, but now we've got,
today for
now
lunch
we can have cottage cheese.
We don't have it a lot actually. We hadn't had it in years.
Tuna,
tuna,
oh my
celery,
God.
spinach,
Dice up real small.
diced up spinach.
Next time you have to put chives
and a little onion salt in there and a little pepper. It was unbelievable.
It was amazing. But I would argue that we should add chives to it next time.
Put some chives
Maybe
in
even a little parsley. I don't know what parsley's good for. Let's look it up.
5 things you need to know about a coffee enema. If you guys, anybody interested in?
Yes.
How they work?
Yes. They go up your butt.
When a liter of
Make
coffee
sure
is introduced to the colon.
Hang on one second. When you put things up your butt, make sure there's a flange.
Various compounds in coffee has specific effects. For example, palmitic acid that coffee contains increases glutathione S transferase.
That's why.
An enzyme critical to quenching free radicals and the master antioxidant used by our liver to detoxify toxins by 700%. I didn't even know you could get that high of a percentage. That's the highest percent I've ever seen. Free radicals can cause damage to our cells and DNA.
Excuse me?
The coffee also causes bile ducts to dilate.
I don't have any bile ducts. Excuse me, but these,
No, you have bile ducts.
They don't have anything about parsley in here. I want a refund.
You have bile ducts. You have a liver.
And you should demand a refund. There's nothing about parsley.
How will I feel after a coffee enema?
Woo.
I'm
just kidding. It's amazing.
Most people report increased mental clarity and energy, and they also help to normalize bowel movements. Sounds like somebody we know here needs.
All right, well, we'll try it. Doug,
what do you mean we? You'll try it.
You're gonna put it up my butt for me.
How to make
Hi,
the solution?
Uriel.
Uriel's here.
Oh my God!
And here we are talking about coffee.
I need a night where I'm not high off my ass that you're here, so we can play some of your music and you can tell us a little bit about it. But tonight I'm way too high.
Yeah.
So let's try another day. I've not been feeling very well. I have Lyme disease and a bunch of other shit wrong with me. And so when the barometer's high, as it is at the moment, as you can probably tell, I feel like shit.
It's, you know what it feels like? The barometer's like from that song, It's Raining Men. Temperatures rising, barometer's getting low.
I want to die now.
It's the place to go.
It's pretty awful. I hate it. And I've been really shitty since Saturday. Saturday was a new moon that usually fucks me up.
Yeah,
and
you
then
kind of had enough of that. Now it's
I
Wednesday.
keep trying and trying
first day
and
of
trying.
summer.
And I, guys, y'all, if you could pray for me, I would appreciate it.
It's first day of summer. You got to snap out of this.
But yeah, I would like to snap out of it. But I got to tell you, like, what happens is I'll be doing so well. And, you know, I felt like I was making some progress. I was swimming every day. I was eating super healthy. I was doing all this great stuff. And then I was still fighting with the pooping, but, you know, getting closer. And then all of a sudden, like now I'm going like every other day. Like, what the fuck is wrong with my body? But
better than not going for 7 days.
But going every other day with like a massive effort to poop every day. Like taking this new Fen Chow that Christina sent me, and my magnesium, and drinking all the water and essential oils and vegetables and juicing, and I just like, it's a lot.
It is. It's yeah. And I was getting a little frustrated because my blood pressure was still high a couple days ago, and we're watching all these videos and we're doing all this stuff, and I was getting frustrated because I wasn't really seeing any results. But I think I just have to not worry about that. Just keep what I'm doing.
I think you need to not worry about it, but I think we should still track it. So maybe you take your blood pressure, but you don't look at it, and I write it down, and then we.
What kind of secrets we have in this marriage?
It's just because you stress about it. Because you stress about it.
I'm not that stressed about it.
I
actually watched a video today.
I see it go up when you're stressed about it. But he's starting cayenne pepper.
So I saw a video and they said, don't worry about the number. It's not about the number. It's like a big fantasy, they say. Anyways, it's
I'd like to see that video.
I'd have to find it.
Okay. Well, if you
And
can
show
find it,
you.
I would like it. I would like to
show
see
you.
that.
Anyways, just I think like the other thing too, like so me like working on cutting out carbs like has been tough. Cutting out sugar. I don't remember last time I had anything sugary really.
We had cake.
It was that flourless.
It's the
torte
flourless
cake.
torte. We had like a little sliver
big.
each.
But that was delicious. But
there's probably less
nothing
sugar,
like sugary, like bag of Sour Patch Kids or something.
Yeah, but I
nothing
mean,
like
the
that.
cake is still sugary.
So,
Like,
yeah, it is. But and then
anything that's
the whole idea of not having a lot of carbs that turns to sugar has got to be helping me. So
well, and then
anyways, we'll see.
inflammation.
We'll see.
Actually, our friend Zach has been avoiding gluten for like 6 months now, and he had Lyme and he's had some other health stuff. Anyway, and without like divulging his entire life story, he went to his parents' house the other night and had pasta for the first time, and he felt like crap. And so now he's eating. He's back on track, and he called me today for some ideas for food or supplements or something. I can't remember what it was, but I have a group of friends that are all into natural health and just trying to be as healthy as possible. And some of them it's because they're like they want to be healthy. Some of them it's because they have health issues, and some of them it's because they've spent too much time with me, and I forced them to join my little cult.
I've only experienced that reintroducing something into your diet and feeling horrible. I went off red meat for it must have been quite a while, and then a whole bunch of us went out to hibachi in Worcester, Mass. Of course, whatever. It's like a mix of chicken and steak, and it was delicious. I was so nauseous. I was crazy nauseous.
Do you think it was just the red meat?
Yeah.
Not something at the hibachi restaurant?
It was definitely the red
like
meat.
Amphetamines?
Oh, could have been. Well,
I don't know if you guys
it was the
that,
90s. It could have
Nico's
been anything.
Hibachi had amphetamines
Could have been
in the Florida Panhandle in the Chinese food or at the hibachi place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So hibachi food. So I don't know. Anyway, he didn't feel great, and so we talked, and he's got some good ideas. We do recommend the Bonza pasta. We actually had our white trash carbonara yesterday. Doug just made mac and cheese from scratch with Bonza pasta because he whips that up pretty good.
That was pretty good. And
what do you use to make the roux though? Do you use flour to make the roux?
I don't use flour to make the roux.
Oh, that's awesome. What do you use?
I don't really use. I just use. Normally, I use like maybe a little tiny bit of cream just to get it liquidy.
Yeah.
But this time I used. I didn't have anything, so I used oat milk and butter.
So with oat milk, just make sure it's gluten free. Not all oat milk is gluten free.
Mine is.
Ours is.
Yeah. Anyways,
you want gluten free organic.
The Bonza pasta is fantastic, but like sometimes it depends what you're using it for. Like you like it in the like a chicken pasta salad, right? Like a cold pasta salad.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that, but with that mac and cheese, I thought that was good, and I think the fettuccine Alfredo that I make with their linguine or fettuccine is
the linguine is hard to find though. I like the angel hair. I like the angel hair a lot, but like honestly, like we need cases of Bonza pasta.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's
they don't have it at home at Costco.
I haven't seen it at Costco. I'm not saying that they don't. I don't remember.
I want to message Costco and get them to start carrying Bonza. That would be amazing.
But chickpea pastas are getting to be more of a thing. The one that we tried that we liked was the Hearts of Palm pasta.
Yeah, I remember that one was good.
Pretty good. We have some in there.
Oh, we should have some. You have that for lunch tomorrow. Do you like a little pasta salad with like the Hearts of Palm pasta and
I have something planned for lunch tomorrow.
It's a yummy salad.
It's salad-like.
Charcuterie?
Not exactly.
Pub sub?
Something like that. It's a lettuce wrap. With turkey and whatnot.
We love a lettuce wrap. Is it pre-made or are you making it?
No, I'm going to make it.
What? So we really look forward to deviled eggs.
Because I can't. Apparently, I can't buy. I can't have bread anymore. So
that steak tonight was delightful.
So we'll see. We'll see what we get tomorrow.
That's what we could have done with the tuna salad today when you wanted your crunches. The lettuce wrap.
We didn't have any lettuce at the time. So.
The bib lettuce I find is the best stuff for the lettuce wraps.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I think it's good.
I want to be able to eat peanut butter. I want to do Thai lettuce wraps. With
anybody out there having an issue with peanut butter, you should buy once again nut butter from Nunday, New York.
Okay, but can somebody tell me how to make like the peanut sauce you get at Thai restaurants?
Yes.
Can you just make that with like regular like almond butter?
Oh yeah, why not?
Well then make it.
I saw a thing. Don't throw out your peanut butter jar, and then you put the soy sauce in it and a couple other things.
Oh my god, I just thought of the best dinner. You want to hear it?
What's that? Here's the dinner idea, folks.
You're gonna get the bib lettuce.
Yes.
You're gonna get the matchstick carrots or the shredded carrots.
Yep.
The bean sprouts.
Not a big
I
bean
know
sprout
you don't like
fan,
the bean sprouts, but they're very good for you.
I like microgreens.
Or you can get microgreens and bean sprouts. That would be perfect.
Find microgreens. Get them. Wegmans, unbelievably good microgreens.
We can grow microgreens. It takes like a day.
Yeah, what the fuck?
We live in the fucking jungle.
Yeah, why are you telling me to go out and get some microgreens?
You guys, I just want to live like in Florida, but like with no neighbors. Or like neighbors, like, okay, I love my neighbors, Jen and Lenny, and they're just the right amount of houses away, right? So if only we could get rid of all these houses in between us and the ones behind us and the ones around us and the ones that we can see, that would be great. I just want to be like, everybody has their own little space. So if I walk around naked, that I have an idea. And I would like to have a gate or some sort of way of knowing that the landscapers are here and they're about to see my butthole.
Right.
Well, like, I would like to know. Like, I would like a button that they push and it's like, ding, the landscapers are here to see your butthole. And then I would know to put my butthole away.
Put your butthole, stow your butthole in the upright and locked position.
So anyway, I would like to be able to, I don't know, cook and have. So, my lettuce wrap. Okay, so you're gonna get the bib lettuce.
Boom.
The matchstick carrots.
Boom.
The which I think they have, but if not, buy regular carrots and you can make them with the thing. Or you can just peel them. You know, like
I know how to make.
Okay,
carrot shavings.
So you make the carrot.
Yeah.
And then, or you could grate it even. You have do it however you want. And so you get
Whatever
the carrot, the bean sprouts,
yeah,
the microgreens,
yeah,
and you do chicken that you soak in teriyaki overnight, and then you put the chicken in the air fryer,
yeah,
with a little sesame oil, sesame seeds and a little sesame oil. It cooks perfectly, and then we have little lettuce wraps with the nut butter, and I bet that wouldn't take that long.
I'm with you all the way, except for the teriyaki. I'm not a big teriyaki seasoning guy. I think it's too sugary and not. It doesn't like add a good flavor to it. Just checking on it. Oh yeah. Well, okay. Still have the bubbling.
But should it be But I want some Asian flavor.
Yeah, no. Do everything you say, but like.
What kind of flavor are you gonna put in the chicken?
Five spice. We have that. We've got you could get fish sauce which is
I would be open to just about any one of those. Let's do that.
Well, let's plan that.
I don't know, maybe you guys do your own version of it. Let us know how it goes. Can we put cheese on there?
Cheese on an Asian dish. We think
paneer. I want paneer. No, we can have cottage cheese for dessert after. Cottage cheese with pineapple.
I don't know about the cottage cheese with pineapple. It's like putting pineapple on a pizza. It's that same
cottage
theory.
Cheese with pineapple is,
which I like, by the way.
Is the one thing I have been interested in, and we haven't been doing we can do Dole Whips. That's healthy. Our Dole Whips are healthy as long as we don't put tequila in them. And if we put tequila in it, it has probiotic qualities. See, that's how we're going to eat from now on, motherfuckers. We're going to eat our food.
We have to justify
based on justifying it for health reasons.
We're going to justify that.
You should start drinking red wine. It's good.
I do not like wine.
He doesn't like wine. I miss Gotham so much because Gotham would come over and we would have a bottle of wine together. And I should not drink because it's so bad for me and I feel like shit afterwards. But I will definitely have I would love, actually, Jen, hello, or any of my other neighbors, if you want to just come by and have a bottle of wine with me, that would be great.
I would pay you. No, I would.
Come by and have a bottle of wine. It
reminds me of a topic that I have two axes of this.
We'll make Doug make us snacks
of this. Yeah, that's great.
Or we can have just charcuterie. Can we have charcuterie and wine?
I have something to say. I have a big thing to say.
Okay, but can we? Okay.
Anyway, so you reminded me, what is the best tasting thing on earth? People go nuts for lobster or caviar or these
I do want to go there,
things, right?
But I think we're changing subjects. Can I just finish?
No. We're staying on the food subject.
Okay, I just wanted to know if you could give charcuterie, if we could have people come over and everybody we make a big charcuterie table together. And we just drink wine and eat charcuterie. We could have everybody over at once, all the people that we were supposed to have over. Vicky and her son and
that would, that's a lot of meats.
And Jackie and Jamie and Josh and Jen and Lenny. And
you get it get it done all at once.
Lisa and
that's not a bad idea.
Right?
It'd be like an open house. We've only lived here almost 2 years and have never had an open house.
A huge charcuterie thing and just hang out. That would be cool.
And maybe I play a little acoustic set.
That'd be cool.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
And I will wear a shelf bra. It'll be my contribution. I'll harness them a little. Okay, so I bought,
which is made of an actual shelf.
I bought 4. It's like this tank top bra thing because I had no shirts and I can't fit into any of my bras. and bras hurt, and my lymph nodes are the size of most people's titties. So I spent some money on shirts for myself. And for the first time in 2 years,
I don't remember last time you bought any garment of
all of my clothes have holes in them. So if you would like to see the holes, I'm happy to show you. Perhaps you would like to go get that dress. No, it's hanging in the other room. You made me save it just so you could show it to people on the podcast. You're like, I'm saving this to show onto the podcast.
We don't need to justify any dollar dress.
We do not. However,
to anyone, to any man.
It's sad. It's sad that this is my life. Like that I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm just not, it's just not a priority for me. And like when I dress nicer, I feel better. And obviously I'm not gonna be running any marathons soon, but like last week when I wore my tank top and I had like my new skirt, and it was like all of a $35 outfit, and I walked into 7-Eleven, which by the way I don't wear panties with, and I replaced my bra with the tank top, so I'm like, that's the whole thing. And so I go in and I'm like, I feel comfortable.
She walks into 7-Eleven, feel good about myself, like a goddamn millionaire is what she goes. She walks in there, chest held high, kind of walking with purpose.
Then the part that's funny about it is I go in there and I get myself a green juice, and it's organic, and I'm so happy. And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy myself a little lottery ticket. On my card, you have to pay on your debit card if you're going to buy lottery. My fucking card declined.
At 7-Eleven.
At 7-Eleven.
So, she was all coming in the store erect with this like great confidence.
No, what fucking happened is I screwed up the Fidelity transfer. I thought I'd move the money to from the savings to the checking so it could go out to the Fidelity account because there was a problem with a fucking rollover. And in the process, I didn't transfer the money there. And so we were overdrafted by $1,000 for like in the air, like not actually overdrafted. Right, I called the bank. I'm like, is there going to be an overdraft fee? They're like, nope, you're not overdrafted. And I'm like, but my card didn't work. And they're like, yeah, well, that's what happens. And so they couldn't take Apple. I couldn't figure out how to play with Apple Cash. They couldn't take Apple Pay.
So you threw that green juice in that girl's face.
I got the green juice. And I'm going to tell you right now, go to 7-Eleven and get the green juice even if you've never had green juice before, even if the idea of green juice grosses you out. The only thing I can say is if you don't like a pulpy drink, you might want to run it through a strainer. However, it is so unbelievably good. It's like dessert. I'm not even kidding you. The green juice from 7-Eleven.
It's probably all sugar.
It's not. It's specifically made for 7-Eleven. All the ingredients are like amazing. It's got
who would have thought that you know what's going to happen?
It's got a minty taste. It's
the whole world is turning upside down. Democrats are becoming Republicans, and 7-Eleven's becoming bougie. The whole world's going to be upside. You're wearing clothes with no holes in them and maybe a shelf bra. This is insane. The whole world is turning upside down.
So yes, these things are true. I am wearing maybe a shelf bra. It could happen, but I definitely recommend it. And again, that's another one. Like you could put a little rum in there and be like a little mojito. I'd be okay with that. Right? If people have there's got to be a medicinal impact, but if you're depressed, don't drink.
Don't drink.
But like, if you want to have a cocktail and you have a choice between having, so what's in a mojito traditionally? It's simple syrup, seltzer, and mint and lime. So it's not that bad. It's just you're replacing, instead of having just simple syrup, you could do the vegetable. I'm telling you, this green juice with rum would be unbelievable. I don't even think you'd want to add the lime, but you could.
I don't know why you need to sully a nice, beautiful drink.
Yeah, but if somebody
to impress another person.
But a lot of people, I'm not doing it to impress anybody. I'm saying that a lot of people, a lot of people don't want to eat healthy, right?
Yeah. So if you can lure them with alcohol,
it's not luring them with alcohol.
I get whiskey, all you want.
But a lot of people will have a cocktail. Yeah. So I'm saying if you're somebody who will enjoy a cocktail after a long day, but you won't eat your green vegetables, well, take your rum and put it in your. Not in your bum. Take your rum and put it
in your 7-Eleven.
In your 7-Eleven green juice.
It's kind of like a V8 juice.
Thing I said to put with the tequila. There was something I said to put with the tequila. It wasn't the green juice.
We just had it. I forget what it was. I forget what it was.
Was it the line?
We go too fast on the show.
I don't know. We never know what the hell we're talking about. You guys are really quiet tonight.
Yeah, you're quiet, and you're not even mentioning the lightning that's behind us here.
Okay, so I did the most hippie thing ever. We talked about that. that I was like baked off my ass looking at herbs while sitting on a hematite thing while wearing tie-dye with dreadlocks in my hair and my anti-EMF necklace on.
Yes.
Like it just keeps getting crazier. I was enjoying sitting in that chair.
I was enjoying sitting
and we
in
had
that
the
chair.
best dinner ever, but I have the munchies so bad. I want it all over again. Unfortunately, it is gone.
It is gone. It's not going to be.
Do you feel like going to Publix to get more cottage cheese right now?
and the lightning storm? No, thank you. But
I'm going to start making all of the cottage cheese things. And we would love to hear healthy recipes you guys have because we have come up with 2 tonight. There was that Thai wrap thing.
Yeah, we just came up with that one.
And then what was the other one? And we also came up with that salad last week. That was a good one.
Oh,
and then we came up with a salad the week before.
The tuna.
The tuna was really good.
The deviled eggs, of course.
Deviled eggs, motherfuckers. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Jeff's cooking dinner, and he hopes the power does not go on. I think you're okay. Where I think you live, Jeff, I think is looking good. I'm eyeballing the radar here because
he has to decide what it looks like.
I kind of know what this looks like.
A Christmas stocking.
It looks like that right there. Is what I see that little area right there.
A little bit, yeah.
It looks like a Christmas stocking. Don't tell me what it looks like. I'm the one that tells people. You just need to know
that when you comment on his like, this is what the weather.
Don't say what it looks like because I said what it looks like.
Either like it
or just shut the hell up.
He does not want your opinion.
I'm the one deciding what it looks like. I came up with the concept.
You are just there to watch him play. It is the Doug show.
If you don't want to look at it, avert your gaze. Avert your gaze, sir.
Anytime someone says something else, he goes,
no,
berserk.
It's not that. I said what it is.
What the fuck is this person talking about? I told him what it was.
I am
every
the
night.
judge, jury, and
night
executioner of the thunderstorm radar here. I'm the authority. If Weak News can be the weather authority, I can be the thunderstorm radar, what it looks like authority. Don't say, oh, it looks like it doesn't look like that.
You know what?
I don't want to hear from you.
I just came up with something.
I'm on a tirade.
Okay, but I absolutely came up with something brilliant. And I think you could do this. And you can make a template for it on your computer.
End of tirade.
Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So you say, welcome to Perfectville. And you do like you could say Cape Coral, or you could just say like Florida. And then you do what the weather looks like and then what you think it looks like. And then you put them side by side. That would be.
And how do I show this? Is that for
TikTok,
Reels or something?
Reels, yeah. That would, like, if you had a bunch of them.
I do have a bunch of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
and then I have lots of fun pictures of me putting things on Doug's head.
Yeah, that's.
I think that could go viral.
No. What if you put something on my head? You're like, well, you should have put a thing of Tic Tacs. That's rude to people.
Okay, but
don't tell her what to do.
Doing that, and nobody's doing that.
See, nobody's doing that too. They do it to me because that cloud looks like.
But I don't bring bad vibes to life. And if they think that I should bring, if they think I should put something on your head, I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. Would you please send it to me so I can do that?
So Jeff is making pork chops and applesauce, like Peter Brady.
Oh, okay. I used to make these apple Dijon pork chops that were unbelievable, and I have to find that recipe because they were so good. I think it was a Rachel Ray recipe. And then you make those. What is the thing?
Oh, the pork paillards, which I got off one of the cooking shows. You take your pork and you pound it down nice and thin to about 1/4 inch so it cooks evenly. Coat it in flour, cook it in a pan, and then you make an herb butter. So you take a bunch of herbs and sun-dried tomatoes and put it in butter and mix it up. Put it back in the fridge. And it hardens. So when you put a little slice of butter on top of that pork, boom. And you can put it over grits. You can put it over potatoes. You can put it over anything you want. But it's very good. But I'm a little worried that Jeff is cooking a late dinner. I hope there's. I hope you had a little snack. I mean, it's almost 9. So.
Okay, so you get 4 golden delicious apples, lemon juice, golden raisins, fresh ginger root, light brown sugar, apple juice, plus a splash for pan sauce, cinnamon, nutmeg, and you make these pork chops, and they're amazing.
Indeed. And my secret to a good mac and cheese is nutmeg.
You gave it away. Now everybody's going to want it.
Well, I'm trying to help our viewers out.
Okay.
To a higher level of food authority.
So what if we have a charcuterie? Are we going to have a charcuterie party?
We should have something. Yeah. Maybe we have a potluck.
We could have a deviled egg party.
Deviled egg party.
We have to have that outside though, because everybody would be farting up a storm.
We were just eating olives and pickled mushrooms for our appetizer. Look at you guys,
like that. You gotta put it on the screen so that they can see it
with your gray poupon.
They're fancy level. As fuck.
Yeah, that's too fancy for us right there. That's Attleboro fancy right there, Jeff. That's what that is.
You know what I just realized? Now that we're doing live videos, they don't have subtitles.
Oh, right.
Do you guys miss the subtitles?
But we pull. Actually, I think YouTube still has the subtitles.
I don't know.
I was actually just when I said Attleboro Fancy. I just heard that they're shutting down the Norfolk County Correctional Institute in Walpole, Norfolk. They're closing it down.
When are they going to open some mental health facilities?
Well,
or like natural health clinics. Like, when are they going to do things that are benefiting society?
Well, I think closing prisons. I don't know what that does for society, but they're closing.
I know a lot of. Oh my God! I should be looking something up right now. I know a lot. Yeah. I know a lot of people that should be in prison right now that aren't because of overcrowding.
I don't know anybody that's in prison. I don't know anybody that has AIDS.
That's not true.
She knows people with AIDS.
That's not true.
She knows people in prison.
That's not true. You know people in prison.
I know people in prison because of you.
That's true, but you knew people that had been to prison before you met me.
Just Monty.
I don't know.
Monty had a DUI. I don't think. Other than that, oh yeah, I do. A kid I grew up with went to jail for murder. Well, I didn't grow up with him, but I knew him when I was a kid.
There's so much lightning going on.
There's a lot of lightning over there, which is off to our. I believe that is the south. It is.
Is that where Jeff lives? That's where Jeff lives. Isn't that where Jeff lives?
He lives in southeast, but I think he's more. I think he's up here. Yeah, it's all that nonsense is off to our south now. We're like kind of almost in the clear. But Jeff, you I don't know if where you are exactly. I think you're a little bit north of us on. Yeah.
Oh.
So I will say this. So Jeff writes in, when I was a teenager, I worked at McDonald's. My manager was a dick. He got caught embezzling money from the restaurant and was sent to Walpole prison for 5 years. Ooh, that's tough. That's a tough population right there. And probably deserved to go there. But I lament the fact that Albert DeSalvo, the so-called Boston Strangler, was murdered in Walpole prison back in the 60s. With a little landmark situation there. And I think like some of the Ben Affleck movies, they go to the Walpole and meet. I think it was in The Departed. They go to Walpole to meet his dad or something. There was some connection there. But being in that town, and we both used to live in that town. Back in the 70s, everything was going to Walpole, and then so growing up, all you ever heard was Walpole was a jail. And then I went to visit Walpole. They had a good sped system, and I ended up moving there. It's kind of spotty rain over at Jeff's. At least the lightning isn't bad. Good for Penny's anxiety. We felt terrible about Penny last night. We're directly east of the hospital. I don't know where anything is here.
We don't know anything.
Yeah, I've seen hospitals. I don't remember where they were.
Like I do the driving.
Is there a hospital in Del Prado?
I think there's one on Pine Island Road. No, I went to a medical clinic on Pine Island Road when I thought I had a bug in my ear.
Yeah, she thought she had the claps.
But I thought I had something in my ear.
She thought she had the claps. She picked it up off a.
We watched too many scary
dirty
movies.
Toilet.
We watched too many scary movies. By the way, we have to watch the Joe Bob Briggs Walking Dead thing. I've been dying to watch that.
So it's off Del Prado. So you're, on the.
I was on Del Prado today.
Death Prado.
I go in Del Prado. My friend works at a bank, and it's on Del Prado. So I go there.
We're not at liberty to say any more than a bank.
My friend needs a new job. Her bank's stupid. I hate it.
Then we're definitely not talking about it because we'll get her ass fired, and we don't want that either.
We're not going to get her fired. She's not responsible for the things I say. I think
that's true.
Her bank sucks. It has tires in the drive-thru.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jeff is off Del Prado. So Jeff, pick a day. We'll go to Ding Darling.
Jeff, I want to know if you've ever been to the Mr. Crab where that the sign says juicy seafood, which it sounds kind of briny
we were supposed to get together with them and we never did. And
with Jeff? All right, don't say anything. Maybe they won't remember.
I want to do something with them.
Oh, I do too.
Not everybody else though.
Don't say that.
But there's a bunch of people. We like all people. There's a lot of people I want to do. I want to hang out with Josh. I want to hang out with Jen and Lenny. I want to hang out with Vicky.
Everybody's good. Everybody's good.
Lisa and Jeff. I want to hang out with Jackie and Jamie.
Everybody.
And I want to make new friends.
Yes, we would like to make new friends.
But perhaps some people that can come and eat in the same
deviled eggs
that we're interested in. Maybe
I don't know. I think it's always good to have people that are not into what you're into, and yet you find some common ground.
Oh, I'm dying to go fishing. We haven't.
So Jeff says he would love to go to Ding Darling.
Let's make a date of it.
Yes, Mr. Krabs, where they first open, it's okay. We do a better job at home. Yes, I know. Like just the idea of juicy seafood, it makes it feel like it's not like hasn't been drained once it was caught or something. Like I don't know, just that the whole juicy thing. But we have gone to the bingo across the street because we hadn't gone to bingo in Florida, and it was not as good as the VFW back home. For sure.
Yeah, no, it was disappointing. I will say, going to Ding Darling in the Jeep is where it's at.
Yeah. It takes years off your life.
We have an emergency top, so it gives you a little shade if you want it. But we go out there, we bring a cooler, and we make a day of it. And you're going over the bridge, and you might as well be. It feels like you're on a boat because it's like you're on a boat, but you're flying at the same time.
Yeah.
You crank the tunes, the doors are off, so it feels like you could fly.
You actually want that bridge to be a little longer.
Yeah,
because it's so beautiful.
Seriously, it's not long enough, and I have wicked anxiety about heights, and I have no problem with that bridge at all. I love it.
That's one of my favorite drives over that bridge or a road over that bridge. Even
it's worth the $6.
Even the bridges over to from Cape Coral to Fort Myers are great.
Gorgeous.
You know, so my thing is that anytime you have water on both sides of you, you're doing well, right? So one of my favorite roads is the I think it's Vineyard Haven. No, it's Oak Bluffs to Edgartown. The road that goes where Jaws was filmed. You go over the Jaws Bridge, and there's the salt pond on your right and the ocean on your left as you're headed to Edgartown. One of the best roads to drive on. Also, the Kangamangas is good, but that's mountains on both sides, so that's pretty cool too.
You know what? We're just happy when we are not high off our ass going down Hurricane Mountain Road. Oh my God. I was really high and because I had taken cannabis when I was in pain and I'd had a little bit of a beer flight and not like me to do that.
And I was driving.
And Doug was driving and
we're fine.
Hurricane Mountain Road drops off on either end.
Yeah. It is kind of two lanes, but not really.
And I wanted him to downshift, but then I was getting I was just so nervous and I was a mess. And he was great. But literally you look out the windshield and it's a straight drop down.
Yeah.
Straight down. You can't see the ground in front of you. It's terrifying. Especially when you're high. So I highly recommend it. Just as they season the seafood and put it in a plastic bag. Yeah, I'm not doing anything with fucking microplastics. That was a turnoff. Definitely in the Jeep, that would be awesome, is what Lisa says. So let's do it. Let's pick a day. We have a pass, so let's pick a day. We'll
we're season pass holders.
Maybe we can all go and get
$25
cake from the bubble room afterwards
all the time
and share it. Although we're trying to be good, but that's okay. I think you can have bubble room cake once a week.
You don't have to. You can go there.
And I want
not get it. What do you want?
Bubble room bread.
Oh, the bubble room bread. I don't know if you've ever had it, but it's got 7 different kinds of cheeses on it. Not like gooey cheese, almost like a powdered cheese kind of thing.
You can find a cheat recipe online.
Oh God, it's so good.
But I think all this.
But they're not going to be open for another year.
I want to eat this stuff, but then I'm like, it's not going to make me feel good, and it's so I things that are my cheats right now are potatoes. I had a potato, but I could use the potassium, but a potato because I know it's going to cause a glycemic spike. But again, the thing that we learned recently, and I cannot say it enough because it's so cool, is that when you eat your food, start with your vegetable, then eat your protein, then eat your carbs. So you want to eat, because what it does is it reduces your glycemic index spike by 57%, which is huge. And if you could fill up on veggies, then you'll eat less protein. The other thing I'm doing is, and so Barbara O'Neill, who I'm obsessed with, she has a ton of great videos on YouTube. It's fucking hippie science and folklore and maybe a little bit of Bible study because she's a religious lady. But anyway,
and she's Australian.
She's Australian and she's so nice. I love the way she has a canter to the way she speaks. It's very specific, and she even does the hand gestures where she goes.
Right. And when the food digests and blah and blah.
She's so sweet. And so she says not to drink with your meal. You should stop drinking a half hour before your meal, and you shouldn't drink for an hour after your meal. If your mouth is dry and you need to sip, or if you're choking, whatever, obviously add a little water.
Don't listen to that Aussie
but don't
bitch.
be hydrating during the meal. You should hydrate between meals. And of course, have a pinch of Celtic salt with every cup that you drink, and then you should drink a half cup at a time as opposed to chugging. If you're chugging, you're not good. And how you're drinking your water? Are you doing it not chugging?
No, I'm not chugging. I've been actually today. I was way ahead, but then I had a couple seltzers, so I'm plenty hydrated today. And but I was doing a lot more salt today, and I was paying attention to my little time against my
So a good rule of thumb is if you should be drinking, at least 64 ounces of water a day. Obviously for somebody like Doug, who's worried about his heart, like in a perfect world, you would drink double that. So he's been doing his big thing of water and a couple of seltzers and his coffee. And he's been working on his vegetables and doing the added greens. So he's making massive progress. And I am super proud of him.
Well, thank you.
But he's also, so in a perfect world, he'd be doing more water. And then what we do is we take Celtic salt throughout the day, just a grain of Celtic salt. Although I do more because I have pots and I need more salt. Doug is just slowly increasing his salt. So he drinks it throughout the day with his water and he does his water.
You think that was counterintuitive with the salt and high blood pressure, but the salt that you get in food and on table salt is just garbage.
It's harmful.
Whereas this Celtic salt has these crazy
82 minerals
that get in there.
And it's hand harvested. Get the blue bag.
Blue bag. Sometimes I get the blue bag.
When have you ever had the blue bag since you met me?
Probably never.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Just saying. Anyways, there's the science behind it is I don't even know
the mineral. What it does is it draws water to it, so it draws the water into the cells. So like a lot of times if you're drinking water and you're running to the bathroom every 5 minutes, it's because the water's not getting into your cells.
Or you have a 57-year-old prostate.
It's not being absorbed by your body. And you're just passing right through it. That's why she says not to chug it. You have to make sure the water's getting absorbed. That's where Celtic salt comes in. You can use Himalayan salt as well, but you want to look it up because there's a lot of fake pink salt out there right now. I find the Celtic salt to be less harsh. It almost tastes like really good potato chips.
Actually, she says it tastes like chicken. And it's almost like I have that like chicken.
It's really
flavor.
Good. And so you're supposed to start with if you have high blood pressure with like a grain at like a sesame seed side piece. But I do like a freaking pinch because I have POTS. So my blood pressure plummets.
It's a plummeting situation.
Then I drink. So we were talking about the blood pressure and
the science behind it and how it draws the water
so the Barbara O'Neill stuff. So she also doesn't want you to drink water with your meals because if you drink water, it destroys your digestive enzyme. And she wants you to chew your drinks and drink your food, meaning that you chew your food up so small that it's like you're drinking it. But you savor any drinks that you have so that you get the value, especially if it's like a green juice.
I save, I tend to savor really everything. Like even if you get like one of those like little tiny like square Milky Way bars or something like that, like I'll eat that thing in 8 pieces. Like I savor that shit. I savor everything.
If you guys are game to get up together this weekend, we're all in. Let's
don't be pushy, Jeff. Come on now.
No, I would love to do that. Let's see how I'm feeling though, because it's been a rough week. So hopefully I can turn it around because that would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what else you got?
I forgot what Jeff looks like.
He's handsome.
Just kidding. He reminds me of my old coworker Steve Hall. Reminds me a lot of
I can see that. So she tells you to not drink for an hour afterwards so your digestive enzyme can do its job. And she says if you're eating meat, you should take a tablespoon or a teaspoon of either olive oil or coconut oil with every meal, which I need to have some coconut oil tonight. And she also says that slippery elm is like your best friend if you're having problems. And the thing that's crazy is I tried the slippery elm and had a problem with my butthole. So I'm going to have to experiment.
It wasn't that I slipped her the elm.
And when he says no pressure, I don't know if he's talking about the slippery elm on my butthole or getting together this weekend, that created or if those two things are related somehow.
And I think the comment came in before. I think you're good.
But let's talk later on this week. Definitely remind me because I definitely want to.
I can't even believe it's Wednesday today. I can't even fathom that. Like it was just Monday. I blinked my eyes. Boom! It's Wednesday.
Do you know how hard it is for us to make plans ever though? Like I haven't. It's been 5 days straight that I've been feeling like shit.
You are.
And then last week I was doing stuff. Last week I played with the kids 2 days.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I don't think that me feeling like shit was in any way, shape, or form related to the kids.
But the thing is, sometimes that stuff.
Sometimes I
gives
overdo
you
it,
energy,
and in that case, it really did give me energy. And last week, I was so excited about my little morning adventures with Jen, and I get to play with the kids, and I get to know Lenny a little bit more. And I was excited about the podcast, and we just had the boys in town. But I just, I've been going. Plus that low pressure system, plus the new moon. So
and what do I say every time that you're like, I'm like, listen to your body. Listen to your body.
Well, and here's the other one. This is so funny. My friend Christina had sent me Christina, my little chiropractor friend. Again, Vitamin C Chiropractic. They're on the northeast coast of Florida. She's a mobile chiropractor. She comes to you, and she's amazing. She has she can get discounts. She gets me, and she's willing to get my friends discounts on supplements. She also sells standard processed supplements, which are the best of the best food-based supplements.
It's a food.
And she can get you your biomat. And the biomat is the thing that I use for pain. You
The
sit on
hippie
it.
thing that you
They're
were talking
expensive.
about.
I think that it's like $800 or whatever. But with Christina, you can actually pay for it with your HSA or your FSA card to pay for your medical expenses. So,
and that thing is like
That's
having a
good to
sauna.
know.
That thing is like
it's the best. It's,
if
I
you
mean,
have achy anything, just sit on that thing. It's,
so for
it's
pain,
good.
it's excellent because it heats you from the inside. But the other thing is doing a sauna, and I imagine the biomat has the same effect. They've shown to reduce your risk of like stroke by like 50% and like almost zero incident of heart attack for people that use it. And they say to use it for people who can't exercise. So if you're like, oh, like, you know, a biomat seems like a lot of money to spend, but it would help tremendously with your pain, especially in the winter if you live in New England. And also because you get cold in your bones.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Especially.
it would be a dupe for exercise, and everyone in the family can use it.
It's fun for the whole family.
It's a good investment in your health. It's probably the best investment we've made, I think, of everything we spent money on.
We use that a lot.
The colonics were
those helped you a lot.
really helpful.
Yeah, those helped you a lot.
But that was sunk money. This was a one-time expenditure of $800. Like it was worth every penny. The TENS unit's also been really helpful.
You like the TENS unit. I'm not quite so sold on the TENS unit, but I know it helps you a lot.
You like the shoulder thing.
We have the shoulder thing, like remember the old Brookstone things, and you put around its heat and massage. And I've never found one of those things that actually like was good. But this thing is it pounds the crap out of you. And what happens with me is I get working and I get my shoulders up, and I need, and even that happened to me today. I just get so tense. So this thing like really just you just wrap it around you and it does its thing.
You know, the one thing I'm still not sure about is the Rife machine. Because I feel like I do it
right in theory,
but like I've done it, and like a lot of times if I use it, I can't poop. Like there's so many things I do that make it so I can't poop.
Yeah.
So like I can't go in my sauna because then I can't poop. Even doing the biomat, I can't poop. The Rife can't poop. Like it's crazy. So I think I need to start doing the coffee enemas in addition
let's
to the
explain
show.
What a Rife machine. You strap it on and it gives you an electrical frequency. And so the theory is that all the stuff that you have with you, whether it's parasites or strep throat or whatever you have, has a frequency. Acne has and so that's when my antenna go up a little bit, because I'm like, all right, if this thing is good for that many things, is it good for anything at all?
Well, it's funny,
which it may be. I mean, that makes sense.
I've been listening to healing frequencies in my sleep, and I haven't done it the last few days, and I wonder if that's why I've been feeling so crappy.
Possible. Maybe we got addicted to them. Maybe it's like
I'm addicted to healing.
Jones into the healing thing.
I don't know. I just don't want to feel shitty, and I want to do nice things to the world around me. Somebody asked me today what's my dream job, and I said I wanted to be a philanthropist / cult leader.
I think my dream dream job like forever was to be, I wanted to be one of the Beatles, but that wasn't going to happen. But like just being a rock star musician, like that was my dream.
So if we had a hippie commune,
if I had a second dream job, I would create and write and maybe even act in a sitcom. I think sitcoms are just like, it's like the coolest, like, like the shows we've been watching, Californication, and like just crafting these characters is just fantastic.
So in our hippie commune,
I'm not doing anything in your hippie commune except
can you just hear me
being
out?
king of the hippie commune.
I don't know if that's how that works. We have to have an election, but
getting a goddamn throne.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Yes.
Hear me out. In the hippie commune, you could paint.
Yeah.
And make music to entertain everyone at night. And when there's a harvest, you would help with the harvest. And you would help with the animals. Wouldn't you be the turtle man? Or do you want Tracy to handle all of the animals by herself?
I could do the reptiles. Like I'll do the reptiles. Like if there's a snake that needs to get out of Dodge, I'll go in there with my snake
we have to keep the snakes out. You want to be in charge of the alligators and the snakes and keeping them out of our yard?
Well, I think anytime there's a reptile situation, I think you call me, specifically turtle.
What about alligators?
Alligator, you could call me, yeah.
So you can hide behind me again?
You just didn't have the sense to get up and hightail it out of there.
There was no reason to get up and hightail it out of there.
You don't know. These things are
predators. Did he come anywhere near us?
He was on the move. That's all I know. He was on the move. He was moving across the pond, coming at
I
you.
look like hell tonight.
Well, it's
Thank
this
you.
vapor lamp here. It's not so good. It makes everybody look
But
great.
I was like rubbing myself, and I had all of this nice.
What
makeup.
happens when you rub yourself? That's usually people that rub themselves. They're not looking so good.
We could create a sitcom about a cult, a leader, and the haters. LOL. A sitcom, a reality show. Hello. I heard that you guys put on a couple of sitcoms on Surfside Road, and it was so enjoyable. A little bit. We had the whole. We've had some interesting parties, and then Doug was a turtle on the table, and then one time I put his testicles back in the pockets that God gave him.
That wasn't really funny.
It was hilarious. That's got to be coming up, or did we already pass it?
I don't know. That's
usually one of my Facebook memories.
It's not natural. It's not natural.
It's natural.
It's not natural.
Do you guys want to watch that sometime?
No, nobody wants to see that. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Some things you do should not be recorded to tape. Although it was very funny. It was probably about the funniest 20 minutes of anything you'd have to watch. But you have to know us. So somebody else watching this was like, why is this lady torturing this guy? But if you know us, it was all done in good fun.
We try to have fun.
Anyways,
so I am curious about what
sitcom things.
I'm curious as to what else you heard today. Probably some opinions.
Who heard what?
Anne went to lunch with Deb and Andrea today.
Oh, interesting. That's
and apparently my name came up.
That's a high-powered group right there. I don't know what he sees in her. She's crazy. She's on the pot, and she's always doing the marijuana. She has dresses with holes in them.
I don't think that they would
and
say
she
that.
has rope for hair. I don't know. She uses these oils and things. What is she, like some sort of witch? I don't know what is going on with her. She's not one of us.
I'm not one of anyone.
So Anna's laughing because that was probably what happened.
I know who that would have been.
I like her, but I don't like that potty mouth. I do not have that language in my home.
No, Andrea,
and I will not look at it on a podcast.
I'm a cakewalk after
Andrea.
Some of she raised 4 children.
Andrea's got stories for days. She's
my god, she's the best. Andrea has the best stories.
But I really like doing
my
my bitchy lady kind of thing because it's a combination of a lot of people,
that's
including my mom.
But it's not Andrea
because my mom would get very indignant about things and she would be like, I don't.
Andrea does get like she'll tell you straight up, like she'll tell people off, and it's adorable when she does because she's very matter of fact. She uses like her Sunday school voice and tells you to fuck yourself, and not in those exact words, but like you feel like you have to, but you're grateful because she's going to give you a cookie,
which is good because
that's cool.
Well, to Andrea, I can do no wrong. She even likes it. I'm a liberal when she likes me. So that's what's telling me.
I agree with your politics, but yes, she does like you.
She's wrong on that point. But whatever, we can live together and
how about we all respect each other and their individual rights?
Hey,
exactly. Can I ask you guys a question? What do you think would happen if RFK ran third party? What do you think if RFK ran third party with Trump? I'm curious.
I watched a video today of RFK and Jordan Peterson. And he was like, I've always been a Democrat, so like it's like he wouldn't even consider it from what he said there. But it would be interesting. I've been watching a lot of RFK videos, and he might be the guy. I know we're not supposed to talk politics on here, but I'm fascinated by like the fact that he will cut through the crap. Like he'll see some stuff and it will not be, it'll be corrupt, it'll not be good, whatever, and he'll call it out. And
this is my premonition today, and I came up with this.
Don't talk about it.
I'm making my premonition. Here's my premonition. RFK gets beat in a landslide, just like what happened with Sanders. Gets beat in a landslide, didn't have a chance from the start. This is what I think is going to happen. Trump is going to get railroaded, and DeSantis is going to get the ticket. And my fantasy is this: Trump and Kennedy run together, because I like that neither of them is part of the system. Trump wasn't able to do certain things because he was ineffectual in a lot of ways in not understanding how things worked. And also sometimes his delivery, his bravado, which got him into office, but sometimes his bravado got him into trouble. And I think that they would balance each other perfectly. My concern is an RFK assassination. That is my biggest concern. And I think
No.
that if there was
We're
another,
done with that.
I think if there was another Kennedy assassination, if I think that there was another Kennedy assassination, it would destroy this country more than it already has.
No, I don't think so. I think people are.
I'm sorry. Do you don't think that someone's going to kill him, or you don't think, or
I don't think somebody is going to kill him, and a
lot of people have come up dead that really shouldn't have, especially natural health people have come up dead.
Well,
anybody who is questioned.
I will say if it happens, there's something to do there. But the more we uncover, his dad, his uncle, there was some forces behind it. Whereas I don't think those forces are gonna. Those forces are going to shut him up. I think other forces would try and shut RFK Jr. up.
But they all have active mutual self-interest. All of these massive agencies are working together. I
don't know. I think some do. I don't think there's this massive cabal that is like
you don't
calling. No, I don't think there's like Soros or whatever like behind.
So you don't think
moving chess pieces around.
You don't think pharmaceutical companies
partner
with government.
I didn't say
and do things to screw people over.
I did not say that. But I what I'm saying is that there's
not
some board on some like weird people on a mountaintop.
Did I say that?
Moving pieces around.
Did I say that?
No, but you were implying it.
No, I was not implying it.
Then I misread what you said.
I'm saying that people act of mutual self-interest, and the vast majority of anyone who goes anywhere in Washington or is a corporation is out to fuck the average Joe and only out for themselves.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true either. But
how many of the average Joe do you know that are actually not out to fuck everybody else and take advantage of themselves?
How many average Joes?
I'm going to tell you right now. We have helped a lot of people, and a lot of people have taken advantage of us.
Like a couple of dumbasses that we are.
Yeah. No, but we have learned not everybody is like us.
We help people, and you help people specifically because you want to do it. My dad would do it. Would help people, not because, but he did it because he would he wanted to do it. So.
It will never happen. They will never allow a third party. Well, I think that if there's a problem, it's going to be rioting in the streets.
I don't think there's going to be rioting.
Okay, I'm glad you don't think that, but I do.
Yeah.
If RFK runs third party, the Dems will lose votes. The Trump runs third party, the Republicans will lose votes. If they run together, Republicans lose votes. Thank you for sharing that. But I think my thing is, I don't think that the people that are on the left that were super pro the jab are going to ever vote for RFK, because he's, he doesn't call himself an anti-vaxxer, but he's pretty much the poster child of the anti-vax movement.
Primarily for its role in autism. But,
and without us saying, we can't get into this because we'll get pulled so fast your fucking head will spin, I definitely recommend listening to what the man has to say and judging for yourself.
Yeah, it sure is interesting. I'm not completely sold yet, but he is connected. Like, I think he's connected. I think he would know how to maneuver the system, and I know that he would go up against.
But I'm not talking about him as a candidate. I'm talking about people who were pro the jab.
Yes.
People who believed you should have been forced to be jabbed against your will.
Yeah.
These people are never going to vote for him. Ever, ever. And they're never going to admit, if they were ever wrong about anything, they would never admit that either.
I'm not so sure about that. I think people are looking back at COVID and seeing. I shouldn't have said COVID. That's what I should. I think that people are looking back at that era.
It's just so funny to me because it's like the things that I'm cynical about are like government and corporations, and that's pretty much it. And then in our lives, you're like, no, they're trying to do good stuff, but in every other area of our life, you're cynical. Do you think that's funny?
No, well, I think you're so positive in every other facet of your life, and then when it comes to those things, you're very, very.
Because cynical. I care about people.
Oh, and I don't. Or what are you saying?
I did not say that. Why would you put? This is the second time tonight you tried to put words in my mouth.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's I did not say that. What I said is, I care about people, and I have watched what the government and corporations have done to people time and time again. And as somebody who has been taxed into poverty and is currently not working and has busted his ass his entire life, I would think you would understand where I might be coming from.
I'm not angry at the government for that.
You're not angry at the government for stealing from your paycheck?
No.
You're not angry at the government for the fact that they lost $6 billion with the Ukraine? They had $6 billion. It just went missing, and it was an accounting error.
There is some stuff that we don't understand, and you can't handle the truth. I can't handle the truth. There's some stuff that we don't understand when it comes to.
Okay, let's move on, because I don't even know. There's stuff we don't understand. I don't feel like a valid response, but that's okay. I think the government knows that we don't trust them, so Trump is still around. I rest my case. I think that.
What are you, Perry Mason over there, Ann?
I think that
no resting of cases.
I think that what they don't realize is that by arresting Trump, they just fired up his base even more. Doug, people who work for the CDC end up working for the FDA. Are you freaking kidding me? People that worked for Monsanto worked for the CDC, or was it the FDA? I forget, but the CEO of Monsanto is now or was working for the CDC or the FDA. It was bonkers. Todd says, food for thought. Donald Trump was a Democrat before he changed to Republican Party in 2016. I think the parties keep flip-flopping, and I think that you really like the idea of identifying with any one party or another is kind of ridiculous at this point. I think we're all just trying to pick who we think is going to fuck us over less, but the reality is I think it's time to scrap the whole fucking thing, and I think that's one thing everybody can agree on.
One of the
it's time to scrap the whole fucking thing.
One of the clips I've seen in the last couple of days, they were talking about being woke. And how that term came about to be what it means is to be aware of injustice. And somehow the two sides have turned that into something to be bad, because either the left has made it so extreme that it's kind of ridiculous, and then the right is like makes it like it's a bad thing that it's so extreme or whatever. But again, at the beginning, that was to be aware and have your eyes open to an injustice or many injustices.
Yeah, but so here is the problem with this whole woke movement is that the vast majority of the time it's fucking privileged white people being offended on behalf of other people.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I mean, I don't like.
But what I'm saying is, it started from a place of.
How good. About yeah? But I don't know that it started as a place of good, because I think what happens is time and time again, corporations and the government will use whatever fucking trend they can latch onto to manipulate the people. That's exactly what they've done with the wokeism. It's not a good situation. They're basically looking to use it to erode our constitutional rights, and they have already done it. Wow. And this poor guy who had an Amazon home, who wasn't even home, got locked out of his house and all of his shit for 6 days because the Amazon driver thought they heard a racial slur. What had happened is the guy had his AirPods in, and the smart doorbell asked him what he wanted, or like was hello, what can I help you with? He thought he heard a racial slur, reported it to Amazon. The guy couldn't get into his house for 6 days. And well, he couldn't get into his house. He eventually got in, but he couldn't work any of his electronics for 6 days while Amazon straightened out his account. Like that's an Amazon driver reporting.
What I'll say about this is what I said last week. I don't think a company has a right to lock this guy out of his own home. That's ridiculous. Does the Oster blender people?
But do you not understand?
Can they prevent me from?
Do you not understand that this country is allowing it, and there's people in this country that want this?
Is the country allowing this to happen?
Yes.
A company or a manager or somebody made a mistake to make that happen.
They're the ones to do it first. The government is able to see into everything. They're embedded in our social media companies. It's been proven. Email after email after email. Like there's vast evidence proving corruption on every level. And you're just like, oh, they mean well. They mean well. And I don't understand it. And I'd like to move on somehow, but I want to respond to people's comments.
Did we have the food for thought? Yes, we had the food for thought.
Yeah. Trump was the most corporatist president we've had in this country. I wouldn't disagree with that, but at the same time, he was also pro small business. And my small business friends were doing a lot better under Trump than they are right now. They're struggling. And how many businesses closed down? Of course, how much of that is COVID related? But, Lord and Savior Fauci told everybody that, we're all going to die, and we had to close those businesses down. I was livid. I had friends whose businesses were destroyed, whose lives were destroyed because of the closures, because of COVID.
Closures during COVID was in the Trump administration.
This is the second. The closures were not under the Trump administration.
Yes, it was. It was in 2020. This Trump administration.
You may be right about that, but the closure should never happen. I don't care who the fuck did it. And I have no problem admitting Trump's wrong. I will tell you all when you're wrong. I'll tell me when I'm wrong. I'll tell you when I'm wrong. I'll tell them when they're wrong. But I do believe that he was a corporatist president. Absolutely. But just like corporations aren't going anywhere. They're not going to go away. But I can make them go away by shopping small. And that's what I do as much as humanly possible. And I support small businesses as much as humanly possible. Anne says this is the second discovery of found money by the Pentagon. Yes, the last one was 9/11.
Actually, I've read that that's not true. I've read that it's not true.
Look it up yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Doug does not believe that missing from the. I'm just saying because I want to close it up. So I'm saying the Doug does not believe that there was missing money from the Pentagon.
I didn't say that. I said I've read. Okay. That was not true.
Doug read that was not true. I have read contrary. You should research it yourselves. Go ahead. Closures during COVID.
Where state level decisions made by
governors. Some open sooner than others. Yeah, well, Massachusetts shut down for far too long. And I know people that their lives were destroyed. I know someone whose son overdosed. And I know a young man who we just found out is now serving 2 years in jail. God knows what his federal charges are because he was so impacted emotionally from the COVID stuff. Like he was a kid graduating in that class and was locked up and didn't have access to his friends at a key developmental point in his life. And the anxiety provoking of the news, just constantly gloom and doom and everybody with their mask paranoia. This poor kid was so traumatized. And don't get me wrong, he's got other stuff going on, but this did not help. I have a friend whose son was found dead. Like, we did more harm than good with the closures. I will argue that till my last breath. We hurt more people than we helped. And the policies in the nursing homes, these people should be they should be fucking punished. They just killed people. So that's my little tirade for the day. And it was because they were inside and they had people, probably not, but let's talk about the nursing facilities that had people who had COVID working in nursing facilities. How people couldn't see their loved ones, but sick people that we knew that worked in nursing homes were called into work. Positive COVID test. But, we can't talk about that. So YouTube, pull it down. Some governors open sooner than others. Yes, that's true. And I happen to live in a state that opened. And when we got here, I remember just feeling so. How long was it before the PTSD from being attacked in public went away?
You had a hard time with that.
I was really not doing well with it. When we got here, like, I still couldn't get used to it. And if I would see somebody with a mask on, I would walk away because I would be freaked out that they were going to start shit. And then you just get used to it. And then every once in a while you'd go somewhere and there'd still be a plastic partition up and you'd be like, what the hell is this? And then we went to brunch and it was like community juice. Everybody was a spigot and you filled your juice, but you refilled the same glass. And it's like,
there was so much of that but I mean, I get, again, if you're going to have something like that, right? I was hoping that there'd be protocols in place to deal with it, and there clearly weren't.
But you know what the protocols that needed to be in place in this country were?
Honesty needed to be in
place. Honesty I will agree with, but the protocols that needed to be in place is a healthy American lifestyle, healthy American diet. Stop allowing poison to be put in our fucking food. Stop poisoning our water. Stop poisoning the air. Stop destroying our soil. Stop filling us full of chemicals. Thank you. Oh, and then when there's a bug going around, reminds people, you might want to have some vitamin D. When you need to close non-essential businesses, you close McDonald's. You close down the junk food aisle. And I'm not saying that you should police people, but if it was really about health, they would have been like, oh, we're going to shut down the liquor stores. We're going to shut down the fast food places. We're going to keep who's and what's it. So we're going to keep the processed crap away from you because you need to be healthy right now. But it wasn't about health.
Well, in reality, you can't shut down a liquor store because if you shut down the liquor store, all the alcoholics will go into some sort of
but they shut down. Shock. But they shut down mental health services.
Yeah, right. You're absolutely right. There was, I mean, there's arguments.
And there's not enough therapists out there. Do you know how many young men in this country are struggling so badly, and it's so hard to find anybody who wants to work with an adolescent, and I can't blame them. Adolescents are my sweet spot, but I'm not a trained therapist. Anne says, I agree, Stacey. New York City sent sick people into nursing homes. I know for a fact that happened in Massachusetts. Instead of advertising medications, they will lower your A1C, start talking about diets. These doctors aren't even getting trained on diet. And we're not teaching kids in school about, like, we're teaching kids how to make fucking dioramas when we should be teaching them about proper nutrition, how their body works. Shit that I never learned in school. Now I'm having to watch Science Barbara in the living room, not to be confused with Brent the Pot, which was Brent Scott's science show when he was a kid. And apparently there's VHS tapes of it. And I want one so bad. And I want to see it. But anyway, I don't know what I was talking about, but the I've learned from Barbara. I've learned a ton of stuff. Why aren't we teaching kids about how their bodies work in school? Why aren't we teaching them about nutrients in food? Why aren't we teaching them to grow food? Why aren't we teaching them to question everything and to think for themselves? We're like, no more cursive, and it's very, very, very important that we teach you about all the sexualities because and we need to ask you what you like sexually. So, for what purpose, we don't know. And also, if you're in California, maybe we'll take away you from your parents if they won't give you gender affirming.
And if you're in Florida, we're going to take away the AP class that deals with the psychological issues of LGBTQ.
I don't know that there was a psychological class that dealt with LGBTQ at a high school level.
Yes, it was.
In the schools.
Yeah.
However,
and that's exactly what people talked about.
There was I don't know if kids at that age can understand it.
A senior in high school, junior in high school, taking an AP class.
The problem that's happening is that there's a lot happening with kids at college right now. There's the number of kids that are going away to school and coming home transitioning is astounding. And kids are entering, and I've seen it, that are entering into medications after a phone call, after one meeting.
Well, that's a systemic breakdown right there.
It is, but like it's the problem at every level. And don't get me wrong, I want adults with fully developed brains to be able to do whatever the hell they want with their body. But if we're talking about somebody who doesn't have full brain development, we have a responsibility as a society to not give them fertility destroying and altering medications if they are in a mental state where they are unable to make that decision. And if you do not have full brain development, you are not in a state where you can make an intelligent decision. But I also don't think you should be able to drive.
But I don't know what that has to do with restricting education and an AP level in high school.
Because of the content of the coursework and because of the normalizing of I don't have any problem with anyone being gay. I don't have a problem with a person being trans. What my concern is I don't like when we give anyone hormones. And I don't think somebody who does not have full brain development is in a position to make a permanent decision that will impact their fertility, increase their risk of cancer, and destroy their sexual satisfaction.
In regards to this educational AP course that Florida is trying to not allow, if I'm a high school student, maybe not myself, maybe I have two moms, two dads, or maybe I have a brother or sister that's gay.
But no one's saying there's nothing wrong with it.
But I'm interested in psychology, so I want to go into that.
You can take it at a university. You can take it online.
But why should we restrict something that could be,
Well, because there's a lot of subjects that we should be teaching at an AP level in high school that we don't.
Well, that's a whole different conversation. What I'm saying is
I think that there are more important topics for high schools to cover, and I would like to go back to diet, growing food systems, questioning everything, government, the law. Like there's so many things that are not covered in high school AP level. And the only reason that this would even be remotely considered to be available at a high school level is because it's the topic du jour. And I don't think that it would. And
I think you're wrong. I think it should be available. I think there's no difference between that and if somebody wanted to take an AP. I don't think you take law in high school, but
the number of AP classes that are available are so limited. They are so very limited, and the whole point.
And they're specialized.
And the whole point of an AP class is that it's going to apply to your college credits.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a class does that class transfer? I don't know. But what I know is that the schools have a responsibility to be, one, Swiss neutral in terms of politics, separation of church and state and school and whatnot. And two, to stay out of controversial subjects, because it's not their job to teach kids their opinions. It's their job to teach kids to think. And they have failed to do the job of teaching children to think.
LBTGQ, if I got them all, I'm sorry, is not a controversial subject any more than nudity is sexuality.
I disagree with you because I believe that the transgendered community is posing a new challenge to the LGBT community, the LGBTQ. I don't even know anymore. What I know is that there's fracturing within that community, and there are a lot of people that are very torn on the transgendered issue. I personally, it's for medical reasons. That's me. If you're 25 years old or above, you're an adult, and I love you. I don't care what color skin you have, what color, who you fuck, what you pray. I love you. But I don't want to see anyone sick or make a decision that they cannot turn back from, or put chemicals in there. Like I don't even want people to eat like food that's not good for them. I can't stand but if you choose to do that, that's your right. As an adult, if you're an adult with full brain development, that's what you choose to do, then I will support you. But I have a very big problem with normalizing it for children and having this be something that we rashly jump into. And I believe that's happening. And I think most people agree with me.
Well, I look at that class being available as an important and
I think
timely and
well, if I wanted to teach,
and worthy.
So if somebody wanted to go and teach an AP course on Christian dogma,
yeah,
and they taught a traditional biblical stance, which by the way is not my personal stance.
I don't know how that works with church and state.
But if it's
I don't know how that works, so I can't.
But if they're not preaching, but they're teaching this is what the church, this is the Bible. I mean, just about every college in the country has a program where you read the Bible. It's considered a literature course. It's not a religious course. This is a literature course where people read the Bible. Mm-hmm. There's just certain classes that should not be taught at a high school, and the classes that are available, because there's usually, again, like 5, right? Like there was like,
I don't know.
My kids took all the AP classes. You know that. AP Chem, AP, I think there was AP Physics, AP Chem, AP Bio, AP Lit, AP History. Like it was basically your freshman level classes. Mm-hmm. This class wouldn't be appropriate for there, nor would Black
I don't
history,
know what the exact. I don't know
history.
The exact content of the class, but if it's a psychology class that covers it,
they don't do so. But it's a sparse. It is such a. The schools don't have the money for these classes. It's a very sparse amount of classes. It's like 5 classes that are available. It's not a lot. So adding, like, I feel like it should.
So you don't think it's worthy? I don't think it should be being one of those 10
I don't.
Classes
No, I don't.
Offered.
It's not, and it's not 10. Most schools are lucky if they have 5.
I don't know what they have. Folks.
Most schools are lucky if they have 5, and they're like these schools. So we can't be like, we have to serve as many people in the community as possible. And that, I don't know that class even transfers. Because the point of the AP class is that you get this, it's impressive to a college, but also you can save money on tuition. Like if you are a kid in school, do AP classes, do dual enrollment at your local community college, save that money. Use it to go to Cancun. I want everybody to be happy, but I think that like we have to pump the brakes on this because we don't know what the long-term ramifications are to a society where children have been like, oh, I think I'm a girl, and they start taking medication at 8 years old.
That's not my point. Take a drink. That's not my point. My point was about that class specifically. It's not about I'm saying epidemic or whatever. I am saying that class is part of an epidemic. that class might be in reaction to the epidemic.
If you don't agree with that, or maybe you think it's a reaction to it, but I'm saying that many people, myself included, believe that it is part of the epidemic. 1, 2, that there's such a limited amount of AP classes that are available, and there's so many things that every single kid in this world should know that they don't know, like financial literacy, how to grow their food, how to eat healthy, how to read a label, how to question things that are more important than this topic.
Well, that's an opinion. That's an opinion.
And I think that if that's something that they want to study,
it feels like.
And why are we not teaching compassion from day one? And why aren't parents having the example of compassion? Because let me tell you something. My kids had an example of compassion. They may not have a lot of compassion for me, but they had an example of compassion. They know what that looks like, and they are very compassionate children. That's something I'm very proud of.
I agree. And I think that in certain cases like this, I think we should be not looking at what we can't do and putting up guardrails for that. Let's figure out how we can do this and how it works for everybody and how everybody can be part of the solution.
But that's my point, is I don't think offering it at a high school level is right for everybody. I think offer it at a college level. I have no problem with offering it at a college level.
Well, it's not being offered to everybody. It's AP, very specialized, et cetera, et cetera.
But I still believe that it's part of the problem. And you still believe that it should be offered despite the limited budget and availability of AP courses. Is that correct?
I haven't looked at the class. I haven't looked at what's available to these kids. But all I know is that if someone didn't believe that graphic design was a thing, and I couldn't take 2 years of graphic design in high school, I wouldn't have been put on the path that I was.
Well, that's great that you were able to get that specialized class.
Right.
But like, how is taking a class, an LGBTQ, that's an advanced level class? Like, I took a high school level psychology class, and it basically just taught you the terms used in psychology. That's it. Because we don't have the room for all the curriculum we want to have. If you want your children to be able to study these things, you should have them study those things. Have them study them. Have them do their own research. Guide their learning. Because here's the problem with the information about particularly the trans community and medication in the trans community, which is the primary concern I see most people having, is, I'm sorry, I'm so itchy, is that they don't know what the long-term ramifications are. They don't know what first of all, we do know what the long-term ramifications of hormone use are. It's cancer. Read the labels. Read the labels on any of it. The long-term ramifications are various forms of cancer and infertility. So we know that. But we don't know is what happens to an 8-year-old who transitions 20 years later. Because there's people coming forward that transitioned as children that are not happy. And the suicide rate, at least the last thing I read, is the same between trans kids who transition and trans kids who don't transition. How do we help these kids? I don't know. But I don't want to act like I want to help these kids to understand the full ramifications before they're adults. I want all children to be asking questions and being very protective of their own bodies. Because they get one. Okay, let's see what everybody's got to say.
I certainly didn't want to open up that can of worms. I think we agree to disagree on that. And that's fine.
I mean, but that's fine. Think I tried to drop it a couple times. Did I not?
I don't know if I don't know. I'm just saying that we agree to disagree.
It's the Rockefeller Institute of Higher Learning. They run the medical schools. I tend to agree with that. For the most part, at least in the beginning, Trump ignored the CDC and Fauci. Instead, he put together his own COVID medical team consisting of doctors that believe demon sperm causes cervical cancer. That's where the Trump's pandemic response advice came from. I don't agree with that. We're definitely trying to move off the topic, but I don't agree with all of that. And I don't think Trump ignored Fauci enough. I don't think I should have any say in whatever somebody else's child's medical decisions. But people's kids were forced to get the COVID jab. If you're sterilizing a child, because that's if you begin gender transitioning, you're sterilizing a child. You have a right to sterilize your child. Anybody has that right. If a 13-year-old child can decide if they want to get gene-altering medications these same kids should be able to smoke, drink, drive, and go to war, have jobs, whatever else. No medical professional is providing hormone testosterone blockers just because a minor says they believe they're the opposite sex. There's extensive psychological testing and serious underlying psychological problems that must be first diagnosed. And that is not true. I know for a fact that's not true. Then the parents need to find a doctor that will prescribe those types of medications, and there are very few in the U.S., never mind finding a surgeon that will perform a sex change operation. That is not true. I know for a fact that that's not
I have
true.
not researched this topic anywhere near as much
but
as
what we
else.
do know, and we do know some situations very closely, that happened very quickly.
I think it can happen very quickly.
And there's literally companies that's entire job is to offer these services.
Anyways, I didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole with that.
Well, there you go. Well, let's try to talk about something positive, because we've been going on about nothing for 9 hours and 42 minutes.
I am smelling some sort of weird flower.
I know, I love it.
What is that?
Jeff says that's Jeff, you're wrong in your assumption, and if that's not true, the doctor should be prosecuted. I read my information in the Lancet Medical Journal.
Lancet. Look at that.
I
pulling out the Lancet.
Read some more. There's like literally people like coming forward and talking about their experiences, transgendered people, and transitioning at a very young age, and their regrets, and not being able to be sterile, that they're sterilized, and it's not good. So anyway, we want to end on a positive. So there was the landscapers that almost saw me in the pool today, and they may not know if I was a man or a woman, because fortunately, I was far.
Clear.
No,
it's pretty clear with the titties.
I was hoping that you couldn't. I was hoping that you really couldn't see anything. Like I was.
Well, I don't think you could.
I was
see
literally
anything,
over there petrified like this. I was like, oh my god! I had no bottoms on, the tank top completely see through. Oh lord!
I don't think you can see.
And there was something I was going to talk about tonight that I talked to Jen about, and I don't even remember what it was. And we did not talk about the chapter Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The short version is, he says, getting started, gold is everywhere. You just need to know where to find it. And he talks about choosing your friends carefully. The power of association, that you can learn something from everyone. And that you want to find a reason greater than reality, like your spirit, like what motivates you. Maybe you have a pet charity that you're interested in. Philanthropy is a big one for us. He wants you to make daily choices like eating healthy and taking care of yourself and getting some exercise. And Doug got some exercise today.
I did. I did a little swimming. I had a call until about 3. Jumped in the pool. I was like, just had a headache, and my shoulders were up here, and I swam for a little bit, and it was fantastic. And Stacy came out, and then I got out just in time to not be seen by the landscapers. So.
They want you to master a formula and then learn a new one, the power of learning quickly. So he talks about learning, and then of course paying yourself first and self-discipline. He does this whole thing about the importance of paying yourself first, and he refers to, basically every financial person you've ever heard says that, but the book George Clason, The Richest Man of Babylon, he talks about paying yourself first, and that's a book I would like to add to my list. Our next book is Boundaries. I forget who wrote it. And he talks about how poor people had poor habits. A common bad habit is called dipping into savings. The rich know savings are only to be used to create money, not pay bills. Unfortunately, we had no choice this year. We have had to dip into our savings, and it's about half gone.
What's it to you?
And unemployment is out in 9 weeks. We're stressing.
It's like that you tip over the hourglass and it's running down. So.
And then he talks about paying your professionals, well, like your realtors, your brokers, and so forth. He said so many middle class people will tip 20% to their waitress, but then they'll be upset about 3% to their realtor.
Well, that's a big chunk.
It is a big chunk, but his point is that if you have a trained professional that's really good at what they do, they're worth every penny.
Exactly.
And he talks about being an Indian giver, and he says to give something
for
nothing.
No, you can't.
Well, it's actually funny because he goes into the story. It's really interesting. So he wants people to give to others and to expect nothing in return. And he said that then he talks a story about, this is actually really funny. When the first European settlers came to America, they were taken aback by the cultural practice of some American Indians had. For example, if a settler was cold, the Indian would give the person a blanket. Mistaking it for a gift, The settler would often be offended when the Indian asked for it back. The Indians also got upset when they realized the settlers did not want to give it back. That is where the term Indian giver came from. It was a simple cultural misunderstanding, and it makes me laugh because we were at our friend Gautam's house, who happens to be Indian, the Indian South Asian kind, not the Native American kind. And we were at a party at his house. It was for Doug's 50th birthday. Doug's friend George took Paul's guitar and gave it to Gautam's dad. And then at the end of the night, Paul took his guitar back, and Papa had George sign it with a Sharpie.
And
that's maybe the funniest thing in the whole world.
So Papa at the end of the night was like,
no.
"Where is my guitar?"
He thought it was a gift.
And I was like, "My beautiful gift."
It was the opposite.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing.
And then of course he talks about how his a sophisticated person's first question to an investment is, how quickly do I get my money back? So you want to do it you want to invest your money fairly quick. You want a quick return. He talks about how he's lost money on investments, but he's also won far more than he's lost. And he talked about his basic strategy for trading stocks. And then he talks about having how weak mental fortitude plays into all areas of your life, and that if you're disciplined, it impacts everything. And he talks about how if he gave 100 people $10,000, 80 would have nothing left. 16 would have increased that $10,000 by 5 to 10%, and 4 would have increased it to $20,000 or into millions.
I would have bought some scratch tickets and some 7-Eleven.
I don't even know what to say about that. Remember, the easy road often becomes hard, and the hard road often becomes easy. And that's something we talk about: short-term pain, long-term gain. That's a big theme around here, like eating healthy foods. But we're finding more healthy foods that we like.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. Well, that's the thing. It's like it's not top of mind, right? It's you got to think about it a little bit. So that was kind of a hard thing for me, and especially with the cooking. I don't know what the hell to cook half the time.
Well, we're learning. Okay, so and when I get high, I come up with good ideas. Whenever you feel short in the need of something, give what you want first, and it will come back in buckets. It's true for money, a smile, love, or friendship. So like if you go out in public, smile at people, they'll smile back at you. It's true in every area. And he said, God does not need to receive, but humans need to give. So, it's important that we give to one another. And I think that that's something that we try to do. We try to create a community here. We try to give you somewhere to go. We try to give you some information, maybe a little inspiration, maybe a little laugh, and I don't know, sometimes some titties. And then he talks about how poor people are more greedy than rich people. And he says that when it comes to money, love, and happiness, sales, and contacts, all one needs to remember is to give first. Oh, the only other thing, he said you only need to give generously with what you had. The only other thing he talks about is how there's this ideal that rich people are greedy. And he's like, they're like, rich people give, they like create jobs, like they do things for people, like they donate to charity. And he's like, I don't know any successful people that don't donate. And of course there's a tax benefit to that, but he just really and truly believes that if you do good things, and you spend your money in wise and thoughtful ways, that it'll come back to you. And if you, have a positive impact on the world. And a lot of the themes are very similar in this book that were true in Think and Grow Rich, as are spiritual philosophies that I live my life by. So I think it's a good book. I have one more chapter, and then we are on to boundaries, and then who knows what book's next. I do have a backlog in the other room. So
I've hit a wall.
And
I think we
already get that one. Yeah, we got all the comments. Hey, sorry we got all fired up tonight, guys. Or you're welcome, depending on how you look at it. We appreciate you.
You never know what you're gonna get with this thing.
It could go off the rails. And we love everybody. Have a good night.